We are back live at the University of Pretoria, South Africa for the beginning of the second quarter between South Africa Wheelbacks and New Zealand Wheelblacks. This is the bronze medal game of the IWF Asia Oceania Championships. New Zealand takes the inbound. And alternating possession, we'll give it to South Africa next on the arrow. Buckingham just keeping the ball safe. They got plenty of time on the score clock. 20 seconds remain. He's trying to follow some blocks and keep it on the ground. They don't like to risk it by throwing it in the air unless they have to. The defense will try to force the passes, get the ball moving around where anything can happen. Throws into Cameron Leslie, gives him a good target on the post and scores. 19-8. South Africa, Jared McIntyre taking it in. Buckingham taking the inbound, and he can really spread the court and throw it a long way. Dan Buckingham taking it coast to coast. Little shot by Johnny Siddle, but not enough to keep Buckingham from scoring. Buckingham with 6 goals in this game. He's the leading scorer at the moment. And Buckingham with a steal. He's Class 3 for New Zealand, the highest function player out there for the Wheelblacks, and he'll take it in for his 7th goal. Somewhat dominating out there now. He's playing in the middle of that court, always around the ball. Clyde Holland takes the inbound. Kat Swainpool back to her from Buckingham, gets her at midcourt. She advances it over though. Long pass to Johnny Siddle. Siddle to Clyde Holland. Holland sees an opening. Cameron Leslie can't get him, and Clyde Holland goes in for his first goal. He's a Class 2. Long inbound to Cameron Leslie, who rakes it in. And he's got blockers. He's got one man to beat. He puts a move on him, and he'll take it in easily for the goal. Cameron Leslie is a quad amp player. He's got a lot of trunk function, and that enables him to make the lateral moves, cut the chair very quickly, and that's exactly what he did at Johnny Siddle. Left him at midcourt all alone. Jared McIntyre takes the long ball on a seagull play, takes it in for the score. Coming up shortly after this game is the gold medal game, which will be approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of the bronze medal game. And the top seed, Australia, will be taking on Japan, who's the 2nd seed in this zone. Both two highly ranked teams in the sport. Australia, the most recent Paralympic champions in 2012 in the London Games. They since have dropped their #1 ranking to the U.S. at a test event in Denmark. And it looks like we have another foul towards South Africa, a little over aggressive. Low pointer for New Zealand, number 9. That's Gavin Rolton who drew the foul. Whenever the ball goes to low pointer, you'll often see the defense swarming them and being real aggressive trying to get that ball away. It's hard for them to protect the ball. You can often get a timeout or a turnover out of them. New Zealand was a little too over aggressive, and Clyde Holland fouled him. He goes to the box. Now New Zealand will try to set up a little trap here. You see on the where the penalty box where Clyde Holland is. Leslie can easily take it in with their 2 high pointers going up against the rest of South Africa. Clyde Holland was going to be trapped at the penalty box there, so he's called for inbounder so he can be of some use rather than trapped out just outside the penalty box by 2 low pointers. He takes the inbound. New Zealand's defense is a T formation and traps down Johnny Sitar, but back to Clyde Holland. Buckingham picks up the loose ball and another turnover. New Zealand is dominating here in the early going of the second period. Back to Buckingham, and he takes it in for a goal. He's up to 9 goals already, almost double digits in the early going of the second period. Cat Swain pull, can't find anybody. Clyde Holland gets open. He's attacked by the low pointers. Phil Springs snags him mid-court. Back to Johnny Sitar. Johnny Sitar over Dan Buckingham. And number 1, that's Jared McIntyre in for the score, and that's his 4th goal. He's the leading scorer for South Africa. Buckingham, coast to coast. Easy score. New Zealand scoring at will. They're also producing turnovers on the defense. South Africa is finding a big struggle every time they get the ball. Struggling to get it in again. Back to Cat Swainpool. It was tipped back to her. Buckingham has her. She's going to have to try to pass. Johnny Sitar, slow going. They're getting it station to station. Time is running out, and that's a 12-second backcourt violation call. Well, New Zealand was there to meet every advance, and the 12-second call was made. They have 12 seconds to advance the ball from the backcourt to the front court, and now it's a turnover, so the ball will be spotted exactly at the point where the ball was on the 12-second violation. Maya Mai checks in on the subs, along with Shalto Taylor, who receives the pass. Adam Wakeford also in the game. Phil Springs and Gavin Ralston have left. New Zealand employing a lot of bench. This is the final day, final game. Wanting to give all their players a taste of it. They were rejuvenated yesterday by a classification change with Cameron Leslie, and played Japan in a very inspired, hard-fought game. Oh, Jared McIntyre tries to take it on sidelines, and Maya Mai, the female player for New Zealand, drives them out of bounds. And another turnover gives it back to New Zealand. Every lineup now for New Zealand has been dominating. Maya Mai overthrows Shalto Taylor, who might have got a little shove from behind. So the ball went over his head and out of bounds. So it's South Africa ball, so they get a little bit of a break there. Clyde Holland holding the ball. They've got a fresh 40. So they're going to take their time, set up the offensive play, try to extract somebody from a corner, get some blocks in. Goes to Jared McIntyre, who's the leading scorer for South Africa, and he scores. That's his 5th goal. Buckingham gets the inbound and goes long to Shalto Taylor. It gives him a nice angle. Nice stop for Johnny Sitar. Shalto Taylor's going to try to push out of it, and he does. That creates a 2-on-1. South Africa has a trailer, but he's not going to get him. Good effort at the end, caused a loose ball, but the referee said that he was over the line. 2 wheels have to either touch or cross the line with full possession of the ball. If they are juggling when they go over, it's no goal and inbounded from the sideline. South Africa, Clyde Holland takes the ball over half court. And he's swarmed by a couple New Zealand defenders. 20 seconds left on the score clock. He finds Jared McIntyre, but Maya Mai breaks it up and knocks the ball out of bounds. So the score clock remains where it is at, 15 seconds. They now have 15 seconds to score, and we have a substitution for South Africa. Looks like Aki Anker's back in, Victor Butentang, and number 5, Benny Rasmus. Back in for South Africa. So they have 15 seconds on that score clock. So they've they can't be too patient. They have to work for something immediately. And just like that, it's down to 10. So now they have to really go. Buckingham stops Anker to Kat Swainpool. And she's addressed with a hit right as she tries to catch it. And the ball goes out of bounds. And they're going to catch a break there, it looks like. Yes, New Zealand had 4 players in the key. They're only allowed 3 defensive players in the key. Shelton Taylor went in, so that's going to keep South Africa with the ball and it should reset the score clock. And the referees have indicated it. And no, it goes all the way to 40, not to 15. And the referees are trying to confusion again, just like that, and the South African crowd starts to do the wave, showing their appreciation for the air. So now they've got a fresh 40 like they should have after the 4 in the key call. And they have plenty of time. They have an advantage of 4 on 3. It should be an easy scoring opportunity. New Zealand doesn't want to play too close to the line to avoid a second penalty when they have one in the box. Victor Butenag backs it in for a South African goal. And that makes it 27-14. Buckingham taking it in for another goal. That's his 11th goal of the game. He's got 11 of New Zealand Wheel Blacks' 28 scores. And that's often the case with the high pointers on teams scoring the bulk of the goals. The low point players are your more defensive and picking players who will set up the high point players. My oh my, and Shelton Taylor stop Kat Swainpool. Shelton going for the ball. Anke Anker has to pass it. He finds the low pointer, but the low pointer can't keep up with it. Hits his chair and goes out of bounds. It'll be New Zealand ball in the front court. 2:26 left in the second period. My oh my with the ball. 2-on-1. Passes to Shelton Taylor, who takes it in. He's got 4 goals, matching his number. Kat Swainpool has the inbounding duties, goes to the low pointer, the only player open. A nice pass to get it there. He goes back to her. Shelton Taylor gets a hit. She's pushing. Real impressive, the fight in this girl. And another female player now, my oh my, breaks that up. So 2 female players involved in the play. Anke Anker picks up the loose ball, and it should be another reset. Sorry, there wasn't another corner. South Africa with the score. Anke Anker with the goal. He's got 3. So the possession didn't change hands there, so South Africa had the same score clock, but they did manage to score the goal. My oh my. Scores it. That's 4 goals for her. And both female players have 4 goals apiece. Oh, I'm sorry, Kat Swainpool has 3. She inbounds. Long to Anke Anker, but it goes to Dan Buckingham. Anker might have had a tip on it. Goes to Adam Wakeford, and the low pointer takes it in for his first tally. And we have a coach's timeout by the South African coach. At 1:25 left in the first half of play with the New Zealand Wheel Blacks 31, South Africa Wheelbox 15. Live from the University of Pretoria in Pretoria, South Africa. Bronze medal game of the IWF Asia Oceania Wheelchair Rugby Championships. The top 2 teams, Australia and Japan, have already now qualified for the World Championships in 2014. They'll be playing each other in the final for the gold medal and the silver medal. So coaches, or bench timeouts as they're called, are 1 minute's time, so they'll buzz them in when 50 seconds has elapsed. We'll have 10 seconds basically to get the ball in. Victor Butang comes back to take the inbound. It's Akianka. Akianka against Buckingham. He's not going to get past him. And the low pointer comes in with a hit. He has to circle back, tries to get some blockers in front of him. Now it's a 4-on-4 play. New Zealand falling back into the key. Anker looking for a hole, can't find it. Somebody's knocked over. It's a penalty goal. A wheel black player was knocked over the goal line, resulting in a penalty goal. It can either be an assessed penalty or given a penalty goal. If it's an assessed penalty, they'll say that wasn't an imminent goal, and they'll assess the penalty. Inbound to Adam Wakeford. The low pointer goes back to the other low pointer, Robbie Hewitt. My takes the ball. She's working up court, forces the pass. Rob Hewitt, the low pointer, and he can't get to it. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be South Africa ball. So a chance to score 2 in a row and go on a little run here. And that gets the crowd excited here. Plenty of home crowd here supporting the local team. It's been a great event this week. We've had wonderful weather. And the venue is fantastic here at the University of Pretoria. They've brought a hardwood floor in, and it's just fabulous to have the sport played on this stage. Victor Butang has his ball. He's got 20 seconds left. 3-on-2 play. They try to tie up Buckingham, and they couldn't quite get him tied up, and that's what they need to do. We have another female player into the game. That's number 2, Landy Osterson. And they don't get it in, and it goes out of bounds. It looks like it's off New Zealand. And it's South Africa ball, but I think we don't have any score clock to deal with now. We're down to 17.5 seconds. So it's going to be South Africa ball with 17 seconds left. They don't have to worry about any score clock. It's just the game clock they're going against now. Aki Anker is taking the inbounding duties. He goes try to give and go. The ball's fumbled. I think Buckingham hit it out again. Ref did not see it. Ref didn't see it, and it's going to be a held ball. That's South Africa on the alternating possession area will take the ball. So New Zealand will have it at the halftime. And a turnover, 2 seconds. They're not going to have enough time, I don't think. Anker gives a chase, no goal. And that deflates the crowd just before halftime. But at least they stopped New Zealand from adding another goal. They take the lead to the half, 31-16 over the wheel box from the University of Pretoria. And we're going to take a short 5-minute halftime. We'll be back with the second half of the bronze medal game at the Asia Oceania IWF Championships.